So we're back on the banks. Today you've joined me on the Fenland drains and we're here for 3 days. We're going to be trying as best to catch some big pike from here. The last session we did, well the last 2 or 3 sessions we did, we was doing really well. We was catching them every couple of hours of the day and every session has been progressive. You know, we've been catching quite a few fish. Now conditions are completely different from last time. The water has got a really nice bit of visibility to it, but also the levels are very low. I think at a guess, you're looking at about 3.5, maybe 4 foot deep. I think they're down to the winter levels at the moment. We've had no rain, the weather's been absolutely glorious, but we've got loads of time, like I say, 3 days. So each day will be a separate video and hopefully we can get some big pike. So this is the actual swim that we're going to be fishing. We've got loads of space, very comfortable peg compared to the normal one that we fish. And it looks nice. You've got loads of features here, which is pretty much uniform along this drain. The rushes, the reed lines, a few snags. And it's just a case now of hoping that some fish come through. Now, I've just let the line settle on this middle rod. This has got the camera on, and as you can probably tell, we are starting to lose daylight. So I think we've probably got about 3/4 of an hour before it starts to get dark. You've got quite a bit of weed on the left-hand side, and I've got a bait popped up there about 2 inches off the bottom, just resting on the weed. And the right-hand rod, I'm testing that one out. I've put polyballs on, and that is literally popped up the whole length of the trace. So any fish coming through here, because it's so shallow, they'll see the baits. With pike having really good eyesight, I think it might work in our favour, I really do. So we're coming up to about 6 o'clock and it's pitch black now. And it's going to be like this now from now till I think about March, April time. These dark nights, I don't mind them to be honest. These low light levels kicking in is really good for big pike fishing. And we are due a big one. We've been productive on pretty much any venue we've been on over the past 4 or 5 weeks. And yeah, it's just now a case of just settling in. I've just had a bit of food, got a nice cup of tea, and we're just hoping to have some big pike this evening. Low light levels have kicked in and it's going to be absolutely prime for catching a big pike. Well, good morning. And last night was fairly uneventful. There was nothing much happening. And then about half an hour ago, the rod went off and I managed to catch a fish. Now, I'm not going to say too much about it or anything at all, apart from I had a fish. And in March, towards the end of the pike season, literally the last week, I'm going to be making a film with quite a few big pike in, and that fish is going to be in it. And that's all I'm saying. So I had one fish and we'll leave it at that. And I'm not going to show you any clips of the fish either. I might show a little bit, I don't know, I'll have a think. But for now, it's the second day. We had a few hours yesterday. Yesterday when we turned up, I thought it was going to be prime for catching a fish. That's why I came down. To be honest, I was supposed to be on another venue, but I thought I'll give the drains a go. We've had no rain, they're going to be fairly low, fairly clear, and it paid off. That's all I'm going to say. So this is the presentation that I've got on all 3 rods. Very, very simple. Leisure stem, 2 ounce lead, more than enough to hold bottom on here. I mean, there's hardly any flow. Anti-tangle boom, and then I've got a nice long trace. And the bait that I'm actually using, same old sardine. And like I say, I'm not going to bother putting a fresh one on. That is in absolutely prime condition. You could not have asked for that any better. That's been out there all night long. We'll get this one out there. Like I say, there is a bit of debris in these margins and it's very clear. There's a little bit of murkiness to the water out in the middle of the drain, and that's where I want to be putting my baits, so it gives the pike a bit of cover. And yeah, let's see if we can get another decent sized fish. So we'll get this one out there. That's perfect. Like I say, it's very shallow, the drain. Yeah, I really am hoping that we can get some nice footage today. I thought we've got probably a couple of weeks of this kind of weather, the forecast anyway, and then it's going to be raining, and then there'll be no clarity, no visibility, and then any underwater filming will be impossible. So I thought I'd try and get me fixed out, try and do a few videos with some piking. I should have done it a while back, to be honest, but I'm not going to complain, put it that way. This is, if you haven't seen the videos, this is the Westing cam you've got about 4 hours worth of battery life. I've had to, it does look a bit of a state, but I've had to put little weights near the front of it. It's running on the line. And yeah, the bait's going to be hovered up, well, gently lifted up, probably an inch. The sort of head of the fish is going to be gently lifted up on a nice clear bottom, hopefully. I can see fairly, you know, a good amount of clear space out there, so I'm hoping that the light levels are good enough. The fish friendly, you know, running on the line, anything goes wrong, which it won't do because I'm using mega heavy gear. And yeah, we are good to go. So, right, let's see if we can get some good shots today. And when this battery runs out, the joys of it, I'll have a little look through the footage, see if we can see any fish knocking around. But in general, I'll just get it back on charge and then we'll have, oh, no, 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 no. Fish on, fish on, fish on. Here we go, here we go. Have we got a fish? Yes, we have. Here we go. Beautiful. Go on. Oh. This is what we like to see. As I mentioned before, the bites can come thick and fast that first recast in the morning. And this is a leisure dead bait on that clear spot I found. So he's only a little babber. Give it some welly. That's the one. Oh, and he just hooked in the scissors. I say that in just about every video I do, and it's because these waters are very pressured and these fish aren't stupid. That's why I've been thinking about making making a few alterations to the rigs just to try and get them bites for the bigger pike. Come on, mate. Quicker we get you in, the quicker you can go back. That's the one, mate. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. Right, so only a little babber. Beautiful markings. I mean, look at that, absolutely stunning. So what we'll do, we'll get him back, and then we'll. I want to get that underwater camera down there, see if we can see anything. All right, little fella, back you go. I don't know if that's debris or not, but I've had a little bit come through. That might be debris, to be honest. Although some of the pike have literally picked the bait up and just stayed still. No, that's fair enough. Oh no, we've got... These pike are being so picky, it's unreal. Literally, the past few takes, they literally pick the bait up and just stay there. Just goes to show how finicky these fish are. And sod's law, I put the underwater camera on the right hand rod, and it's the middle rod that's gone off. Let's be... Oh, go on, my son. That is what we like to see. Come on, mate, we've got you. Pretty much standard for here. Beautiful condition. I mean, look at the markings on it. That's the one, mate. Such a beautiful creature pike, they really are. Right hand rod. Hopefully it's not debris. We've had a little bit come through these past few hours. Can't feel anything on the line, but there has been a few pike that have taken the bait and then stayed still. Oh, no, it might. No. Oh no! What are these pike doing? Oh no, he's let go of the bait. Oh, they're being very, very picky at the moment. Very picky. That's crafty. Very, very crafty. So we're coming up to about 11 o'clock. We've had a couple of small ones this morning, which has been nice. I've recast once throughout these past several hours after catching the fish. And yeah, at the moment it's just nice and calm. I'm trying to be as quiet as I can because with the levels being quite low and the fish coming through, I think any loud noises or anything like that, it might affect the fishing. We've done it all. We've been on gravel pits, we've been walking around. The minute you see a pike, the minute you go anywhere near the fish knows you're there, and then it'll move off. So I'm going to try and be as calm as I can. And yeah, I just want one fish on the camera just to try and get that bite. It's sod's law. When you're doing sessions, when I'm not doing any sort of underwater filming, you get bites left, right and centre, but the minute you start doing underwater filming or trying anything like that, then it does change the goalposts a bit. You just seem to not get that many fish in the area. But I'm not going to complain. This session's been the best session on this drain so far, and you'll find out next March why. But all in all, yeah, I think he's just playing that waiting game, and I do get bored sometimes doing these kind of sessions. And I am thinking, because I'm not going through too much bait, I might actually get a few pieces of fish, chop them up, and then chuck them out into the middle part of the drain where it's nice and clear, sort of pre-bait for myself, because I'm here for a few days, and then go from there. Because you never know, it might entice some fish in the area, the scent trails, and the bait is quite bloody. And I've got quite a few small pieces of sardine, which I don't normally like to fish with. I normally like to go for anything between 5 to 7 inches long, so these small 3-inch ones, I might just chop them in half, chuck them out, get a bit of a scent trail going, and you never know, later on pike might come in, start feeding, and then hopefully we can get some underwater action on that one. But for now, I think it's time for a bit of afternoon lunch, and then after that we'll get a recast going, and then hopefully later on we can get some fish in the bag. I mean, it's always up and down on here. You can have mornings that are quite progressive, you're catching quite a few fish, then it goes quiet, pretty much like on any venue. When the fish have had a feed in the morning, they go off it for a while, get to late afternoon, then you start catching a few, or going into evening time. So it's always up and down when you're on these natural venues, but at the moment I am confident for a few fish, I really am. Right, so fresh bait, nice juicy sardine there, a little bit of a bait flag to tie on the back just to keep it nice and tight for the cast, and then we'll see if we can get some action. But I haven't seen any signs of many bait fish in the area. When I looked at the underwater footage from earlier on, there was probably 4 or 5 small fish just coming through every now and again, but nothing to shout about, so it seems quite void. And like I say, I've got quite a good view of these margins, and I can't see much at all, to be honest. That's why I'm going for the much murkier water out in the middle. So we'll get this out again. Right, and that is pretty much it. Fresh baits on both rods. I'm just excited to try that camera out now. I've got to set all that up. And then I think the last time we can be filming is about 3:30. I think the light levels are too dark for that, to be honest, from what I saw yesterday. But not one take on the camera. It's just sod's law. It really is. Right, we're ready for action. So past hour or so has been really quiet. Had a couple of fish this morning, it's been nice. It's just now a case of hoping that we get a few more come through, especially on that middle section, so we can get some action later on in front of the cameras. So coming up to about 4 o'clock, I'm going to end the video here for today. It's been a fairly productive day. We had a couple of fish, lost one, and then early morning we had something a bit special, which you will see in the future on the channel. I'll start a fresh video tomorrow morning. I'm going to reset everything, get all the batteries charged up with the underwater camera, etc., and then start fresh. And we are starting to lose light. It is starting to get dark quite early now. So yeah, without further ado, I just want to thank everybody for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.